Hello everyone, welcome to the Dark Souls 3 New Guy Walkthrough episode 17. Losing track. There's a lot of them. So, this episode, I think we're doing Lothric Castle. Yeah, the lower part. So, basically, everything up until Dragonslayer. Dragonslayer Armour? Yes. Old Dragonslayer Armour. Either way, it's a boss, it's a suit of armor. So, go to the Dancer Bonfire. You want to go up the ladder and then make sure you kill this healer first, because otherwise he's just going to keep healing this knight, and it's obnoxious. So, more of the same with the Lothric knights. You want to parry them if you can, or, just in general, do the same things that have been working for you the whole time. This one with the red eyes does a lot of damage because he's red-eyed, and if the cleric casts Sacred Oath, they take more they deal more damage and they take less damage. So you do not want the cleric to cast that. You can tell if it has been cast by like a glowing orange sort of deal going on their chest. Typically, let's see. Maybe one of them will cast it. Probably not. Fighting your way up through this way is the definitely the harder way to do it, as opposed to like when you're farming from the other side. The weapon art for the Gargoyle Flame Spear is sweet. I like to use it against people with shields because it does a lot of damage and it chips through pretty well. Also, you get hyper armor, so never bad. You get hyper armor when you are using the weapon art with the charge, which is the only time you get hyper armor with the shield. So it's a good way to trick people up that are trying to get close and trade with you, because they'll get caught and you can hit them with all that. So yeah, I'm standing here. I guess probably should speed this up. Maybe not. It's just for a second. So to the left over here is the first bonfire of Lothric Castle. I already lit it, so I'm just gonna go and sit at it. Sometimes you can run by and just fight like a knight or two in that room and just light the bonfire. Right over here are the Hood of Prayer and the Robes of Prayer, so the prayer set. They're pretty neat looking, but they're not the best. You get Titanite chunk. So this is not the first area that you get access to Titanite chunks, but there's a lot of them in here and the Consumed King's Garden. So if you killed the dancer early, you can just run up here and grab all the chunks. Like, just run past everything, grab all the chunks, go to the Consumed King's Garden, grab all the chunks, and that should be enough to get a weapon up to +9 very quickly. Right over here is an ambush, so just stab these guys if you can. If you get a weapon that allows for it, you can stab them through the wall usually, but not with the spear. Spear just recoils off really quickly, so kind of not ideal for that. Right over here is going to be a winged knight. I like to jump down and plunge attack him because it's funny. It's funnier when you miss, like I did. But if you do have to fight him, try to get him in a place where you can get away from him, because he does this little spin to win thing, or a bunch of spin to win things. And it's really hard to get behind him in that room, so I usually like to draw him out over here if I can't kill him with a plunge and a few other things. So up that ladder and to the right, there's an illusory wall. Can never say that word. And in the secret room there's a wing knight set and a shield, which name I can't remember, but it's like a medium shield. Pretty cool looking. So it's the wing knight set, and you've got the Sacred Bloom shield, which looks pretty cool. You can jump down over there, but you take pretty good damage, so usually I'll just head on down just slide down the ladder and then continue on my way. So this next area that's coming up is actually pretty difficult if you don't take on all the hollows individually. There's a guy that was up on that bridge that you could see a second ago. He throws Undead Hunter Charms, which I just got hit with, and that puts you in a really bad situation because then you can't heal. So pretty much just running away now until that wears off so I can Estus and maybe separate these guys so I don't have to deal with so much. I have no idea how that hit me. I don't even know where that came from. Should probably just slow motion it and record it, and we'll play it back in slow motion and figure out where the hell it came from, because that was ridiculous. So these guys have exploding bolts, which are super ignorant because they stagger you really hard, and they don't actually have to hit you to stagger you. And then you have this guy with the great axe. If you're under this archway, you can't get hit with the Undead Hunter Charms, so it's not the best strategy because that place is pretty brutal, but it's a strategy to avoid the charms at least. A few more soul items over here. I think there's another chunk or two over here. So the thing about the spear that sucks is it like over penetrates and recoils off of stuff sometimes. So it's not the best in close sort of weapon. And to the left is going to be a bonfire. So this is the Dragon Barracks bonfire. And this is pretty much going to be your staging area for a little while at least. Until you get the other shortcuts, and you'll just probably go back to the Lothric Castle bonfire, which was the first one we unlocked. So you climb up these stairs, you notice like a dead dragon, and there's a bridge. Don't go over the bridge yet. First take a left, and go over to this morning knight, I guess. He looks like he's mourning. And he's got a great shield, and he's got the red eyes, so he's a little tougher than your regular ones. Once you kill him, you can get that item, which I think it's a Greatlance, which is not great, but it's not as bad as it was when the game launched, because they actually did some patching to it, so it's a little better than it was, but it's still not great. I have seen people use it, mostly after they patched it. They were just checking it out. And yeah, so go on the bridge and then fall off to the left, and then usually I head to the right because the dragon does the dragon thing. These two hollows you want to kill because they turn into pus of men, so you want to kill them before they turn into that because you don't get any sort of enhanced reward for killing them. So I think they still drop Titanite shards, which is garbage. You don't want that. So you want to kill them before they transform, and then there's some twinkling Titanite and Titanite chunks and all sorts of other goodies over there. And then you head up this way, and there is a thief ambush later, like a little bit later. Need some lightning urns right there, and there's going to be a crystal lizard. So you want to make sure you're on the right side of that staircase so that you can get this guy to run into this little corner, so you don't have to deal with that thief ambush at the same time, because I think like 4 or 5 of them jump out on top of this one right here. So yep, there's one right there. So you can kind of trigger it slowly as you walk forward, because these are like separate ambushes, I guess. They're scripted that way. So you see them climbing over the walls right now. And these guys can backstab you, and they will try to backstab you. And they'll throw their knives at you and stuff. But when there's a bunch of them, it can be a little hectic. So that's why you want to go down that hallway slowly. To the right is a soul item, and if you go straight here, there is a winged knight with a halberd. So you kill him, and then beyond that, there's that hollow that was throwing the Undead Hunter Charms at you. So you want to make sure you don't really leave the circle, because then he'll hit you with those charms again, and life becomes annoying. So with these guys, same as always, you just want to have space to maneuver around them. And when they do the spin to win thing, you just give them more space. Right over here is a sniper crossbow, and then you can head back down to where the bonfire is, off this little drop down where the soul item was. So now you can do two things. You can shoot at the dragons with a bow from like right where I am, a little further back, or you can drop down to the left, which is the area of the path of progression. Right up there on that little battlement next to the wall right there, there's a guy that'll throw undead hunter charms at you again. Or sometimes he'll just jump down and try to swing at you. So a lot of times I'll prioritize him first because it's just really obnoxious. And there's a crossbow guy that's shooting exploding bolts at you, and those do kind of a ridiculous amount of damage. So you just want to make sure that you kind of kite these guys out and take them out in reasonable chunks instead of getting ganked by them all, because you're just gonna die. There's too many of them. They do too much damage and they take too many hits. So right over there is a great axe guy. He does his like normal leap attack when he first sees you. So you know, get around him, backstab him when he does it. Don't get hit by it. And then now it should just be the crossbow guy up there. Yep. So kill him, and then you go to the left of the staircase, and there's going to be two Lothric knights kneeling down, presumably over a dead comrade or something. So you can walk up and backstab them sometimes. They're not having it today though. So one has a ultra great sword, and the other has the sword and spear. So you want to be real careful with them. You don't want to do what I just did, because that shit didn't work. So pretty much try to separate them if you can, like I'm doing, and then take them on one at a time if you can. Their leash is a little weird sometimes, like the one with the shield, he kind of like was getting ready to go away, but then he didn't, because he did his little smack the end of his spear on the ground thing. But as long as he stays back there waiting in the wings, you should be fine. So the Ultra Great Sword has the same, like the Zweihander moveset. Yeah, the spear guy's walking away now, so sweet. So they do the stomp and then the uppercut thing that can send you flying. So you don't want to get hit with that, because you know it'll send you flying and knock you into places you don't want to be, like off of cliffs or into other dangerous situations. I don't have any FP, so that did nothing for damage. Alright, once these guys are dead, and you don't actually have to kill these guys, you can avoid them entirely. I don't think there was anything really worth the effort there. You can go to the right. Yes, so you go up the stairs to the right, and that is going to lead you to an Irithyll Knight with an Irithyll Rapier. But before that, I'm just checking down here to make sure there's no items. There's an item on the rooftop above me. I don't ever get it. I don't really remember it being worth it. I think it might be a talisman of some sort. But for my build, I'm not going to bother with it. And there's a drop down later that you can use to get there, but it's just so much backtracking later that I just oftentimes just don't have the energy to want to do it. So down these stairs is an Outrider Knight, and he has the rapier, and he's really aggressive. So a lot of times I try to lure him up the stairs, but right now I'm just gonna fight him down here. These guys are weak to lightning damage. I don't know if they're weak to fire, but it's not a crappy amount of damage, doing a couple hundred to them, so it's not the best. He swings the rapier. Well, he doesn't have a rapier, he has the long sword, but he drops the rapier, which is weird, but I guess that's for the best. So right down here, all these chests have good upgrade material and the spirit tree shield, I think. It's like one of the Crest shields. which I don't remember being really good. So Spirit Tree Crest Shield. And then, so now you have to cross the area where the dragons are breathing fire. This can be tricky. I think I have a pretty easy go of it, but pretty much what you want to do is just from right here, you just want to sprint right across. If they start breathing fire, just roll a bunch. The iframes will help. And then as soon as you get in here, you want to go right to this ladder and climb it immediately, because there's going to be a lot of guys throwing fire bombs at you. And almost all the barrels there explode, so it's just a really crappy trap that they're setting you up for. And then at the top of this ladder, you can kind of funnel them and just make sure that, you know, you can all deal with them at one at a time so they don't swarm you. Back here, that's where the guys that were running out came from, and to the right is an item, so another Titanite chunk, and you got yourself a crystal lizard. That probably has twinkling. Yep, 2 twinkling Titanite. So now this is your chance to deal with the dragons. Right here on this foot, you'll see this like weird thing glowing. So a pus of man pops out of that. So this is a pus of dragon, I guess. It spits curse at you, and it does its normal wriggling and slamming, but it's pretty much localized right there. So that right there killed both of the dragons for some reason, but they both have hit that one. His Achilles heel, they both share a health bar, which is pretty stupid. I really could have did that better, but FromSoft does not like to do dragons well, so there we are. So pretty much just hang back. If you have fire bombs, just throw them at them. I didn't think about buying them. I probably should have bought some black ones. That would have made life a little easier. Because I'm not trying to get cursed right now. So just waiting for the right time to jump in there and stab them up. And spear's not long enough, so basically just gotta get right in there. Try not to bounce off of them too many times, and just stab them up real good. Just checking to see if I have fire arrows. If you have a bow, this is super easy because he can't do anything and you just stab him up. But if you get the first hit in with your fire weapon, then you can keep him stun locked the whole time. And now this dragon disappears. You get Titanite chunk, ember, some other stuff. And there's an item down by the little crystal lizard that I killed that I'm not going to get. That item down there is a black fire bomb. I'm not going to get it, I don't think, because it's not worth the effort. It's just a black fire bomb. They don't really cost anything. And I don't really need them or want them. So I'm just making sure this is all clear. Nobody here to give me a hard time. And I guess I do get it. Yep, black firebomb. So there's still one guy kicking around. So in this place, if you do have like a gargoyle flame spear or some other fire enchanted weapon, you want to be really careful about stabbing those barrels, because they'll blow up. Just as if they were hit with a firebomb, so again, careful. So then up here you take a right, and there's going to be a bunch of hollows just kind of crouching along, like just, I don't know, miserable, hating their lives. And there's going to be one hollow with a lantern, and he's going to frenzy them up with his little scream, like in the first area. That treasure chest is a mimic, so you do not want to open it without clearing out this area, because fighting the mimics, it's hard enough on its own mostly, but you know, you don't need any extra help with little stupid hollows swinging all their little knives and broken swords. Since everything stuns and staggers you in this game, it's just like swarms of enemies. Even the little shitty weak ones, they're a proper problem, so it's something you want to avoid at all costs, especially if you don't have a swinging weapon, and I do not have a swinging weapon. I like how the flame spear acts as like a little torch though. It's pretty helpful for navigating dark areas, which is pretty nice. So, yep, now I'm gonna fight the Mimic. This Mimic's not a stand-up one, this is a crawl on its back style one. And I'm pretty sure he's probably gonna grab me with his grab attack, because I don't know what the grab attacks look like. I think that was it. Cool. He didn't grab me, so the curse is broken. Not all the mimics have to hug me now. So if you go into this room, there's going to be a lever. Pull the lever, it's going to open the gate to the left that I'm looking at right now. And that's going to be your shortcut from the bonfire. Now you can just run straight across the bridge, straight into this room, and then deal with the nonsense that's in here. And by nonsense, I mean the Lothric Knight with the Ultra Great Sword, and the clerics. There are two clerics, Lothric Knight with an Ultra Great Sword, and a Lothric Knight with a tower shield and a spear. So fighting all of them at the same time is a bad idea. So pretty much I'm trying to just lure him here so I can plunging attack him, but I fell off because I'm bad at this. So I think he used Blessed Weapon, which is, oof, that almost hit me. So you want to be really careful because his sword goes through most of the pillars and stuff. It's usually not going to recoil off of anything. Yeah. So try to keep your spacing with him. Get behind him if you can. And yeah, he just hits so hard with his stupid Blessed Weapon enchantment. Blessed Weapon is like really good because it does physical damage. So it doesn't have to go through extra defenses. So some of the hardest hitting weapons in the game right now are just big old swords with Blessed Weapon, like your Exile Greatsword. I think they do a strength build and then they have Blessed Weapon on it, and it does like a ridiculously large amount of damage, like absurd. Like 2-hit kill people in PvP type damage, which is pretty good. Probably 1-hit kill people that have like 1,000 HP. I'm running into a lot of people with very low HP lately in PvP. It's really weird. I was playing with my buddy John the other day and I was using a great club. Just like 2-shot dudes like all day. It's just ridiculous. Just put all these points into all these ridiculous things. No points into health. So right now I'm just going around and picking up all the items that I missed, just so that I get it all. Because there's a lot of good items here, good rewards. You get a Titanite scale and a lightning urn, not really a good reward. And then you're gonna drop down on this side, and you're gonna get your undead bone shard right there. And I'm just speeding this up because it's just a bland walk past. Like there's no reason not to. It's just like a waste of your time otherwise. So then you go in here and there's the Tower Shield Knight and that other cleric, which if I'm smart, thankfully I'm being smart, you want to kill that cleric. That way it doesn't cast Sacred Oath. Because these guys they have enough health to begin with. They don't need any more. If you're still using your longsword, these guys are very easy to deal with. I was just trying to break his guard, but I don't think spears do enough poise or guard damage to really do that. I should have just kicked him, but that's alright. So there's really no item over there, so it's not really worth killing him. Usually I just avoid him. And on this side is a ember, so at this point you should be swimming in them, unless you were like me and you were just wasting them on like fighting the dancer in the beginning of the game, probably when you shouldn't have been. You should have tons of them. I still have a pretty good amount, but the Nameless King took a bunch of them out. That's Egon the Ghostbuster NPC. summon right there. He's got his ridiculous hammer. You got a rusted coin, and there should be a titanite scale. Yep. And behind me on that courtyard thing, not a courtyard, balcony, to the right, there is the, what is it? Red tearstone ring. And then there's a drop down right here on the railing. I'm not going to use it, but you saw I walked by it. And that's that talisman I was telling you about before when I fought the two Lothric knights that were hanging out in front of the body. The one with the ultra great sword and the spear and tower shield. So right over here is the other Pussa man right by this wall. So if you do it right, you can do a little Leroy Jenkins action here. I did not do it right, so I just took damage for no reason. So pretty much you're always going to take damage from this thing, from the jump, unless you have the silver cat ring, which I'm pretty sure I got, because I tried to get it for this so I could show people how to get it. So I should have put that on before I did that, and then that would have... I still have another Estus flask, so pretty much I just wait over here until he throws up everywhere, because you don't want to get hit with that, because that's going to do a lot of curse buildup. Like you hit with it, it's bad news. And now those things can go away, and you don't have these ugly dead dragons destroying the otherwise bland scenery. Right over here is the Braille Devine Tome, the Londor one, I think. Or the Lothric one. Begins with an L. One of them. And this is another Mimic. This one has the Sunlight Blade in it. Or the Sunlight Straight Sword, that's what it is. So this has a version of Sacred Oath as the weapon art. So it's pretty decent because it's a straight sword. So at this point I'm just going to speed all of this up because I've gotten everything that there is to get in this area, and now I'm just going to go down the shortcut and go to the Lothric bonfire and get my Estus back. So pretty much it's all content you've seen before, so I'm just going to speed it up to 300% so you're not wasting your time as much, because this elevator is long. It's not as long as some of the other ones, but pretty much just running my way over and dodging everything and sitting down. So just fight this dude, kill that dude, and yeah, so at this point the only thing I have left to do is the little rooftop area, get the Hunter's Ring. Sorry, not the Hunter's Ring, the Knight's Ring. It's a ring that gives you +5 strength. And then, yep, so you just go up this ladder. There's going to be a Titanite chunk on the left, on the edge of the roof, on a corpse. And then there is a hollow soldier with a great axe and 2 hollow soldiers with crossbows with exploding bolts. So those are really just obnoxious, and I really wish I could one-shot them, but I can't. So I just got to deal with them. So sometimes you got to just draw this guy out to the other side of the roof so you have cover from the bolts. And sometimes they'll just leaping attack right off, so it can be pretty funny. Or you could just fall to your death too, so, you know, risky business. Either way. So, once you kill these 2 guys, there's a drop down. Well, not a drop down, there's a ladder. So, you go down the ladder, and you will see a shiny on the other side. Yep, right there. So that's going to be your night ring. And then across the bridge is one more shortcut to the the Warriors of Sunlight altar. Finally, they give you the Covenant like right in the beginning, and then they don't give you a way to have any of the cool stuff until way later. So same with this guy. You just want to outspace him, not get hit with the uppercut like I did. I'm just getting greedy with my stabs. That third hit, for some reason, always gets me in trouble. So you don't want to be greedy like me. So over here to the left is the Altar of Sunlight. And you get the Praise the Sun emote or gesture, which is great. I think if you have 20 sunlight medals, you get, maybe it's 10 sunlight medals. There's an amount. You get the Sacred Oath Miracle, and then there's another amount that you get something else. It's probably 30, and I don't remember what the other thing is. It's probably some sort of healing spell. I guess I could look it up, but you unlock that door, and that's the shortcut, and then at that point, it's going to be the Dragonslayer armor. So right now I'm just gonna level up and get all my souls spent. That way, if he does kill me, I'm not gonna lose anything. And then I'm just going to head back after I get my bone shards. Just talking to Carla, giving her the tomes just cause. And I'm getting, what is that? Report. That is a really good pyromancy. It is, in PvE it's incredible. So you get, Great Lightning Spear for 30 sunlight medals. 10 sunlight medals is Sacred Oath. So I just googled that up real quick. I don't use any of the miracles, so I usually don't, yeah, just don't use the miracles. I don't like the lightning damage. It's all the faith spells that are damage are not really as efficient as the pyromancy or cool looking. And they do less damage at distance, and like that's kind of the point of having a high damaging spell is so you can keep your distance and do a lot of damage. Whereas the faith spells, a lot of times what it is, it's like using an ultra great sword or something. You just gotta trade hits and poise through, and that's that. So I just got the pyromancy glove. No, excuse me, pyromancer's flame. It's not a glove. And I got flame surge just because I have an attunement slot that I'm not using, so I might as well. And now I'm just gonna run over to the elevator, get my way up, and then I'm going to fight the old Dragonslayer armor, I think is the name. So yeah, as long as you stick to the left side of that, you don't have to deal with any of the knights. So you just do a little drop down if you're at the Lothric Castle bonfire, or you can just go to the Dancer bonfire, climb up the ladder, run in and stick to the left, and you don't have to deal with any of those dudes, which is pretty great. So I don't remember what this guy is weak to. Probably lightning, because he's like, you know, a suit of armor. But after you dealt with the old Nameless King, this dude is like a pushover. He does some okay damage, but it's not gonna be anything that's overwhelming. He's already staggered him. When you stagger him, he does that area effect attack, and then he does that little standing swipe. If he hits you with that, it'll knock you flying, and if you're positioned how I am, with your back to the railing, you can get knocked over and through off of the bridge. You do not want that. So that incredibly loud, obnoxious noise are the pilgrim butterflies shooting things at you because reasons. So right there, that railing got knocked over, so you're set up to be knocked off the cliff at this point. So you want to be really vigilant to not get knocked off the cliff because it sucks. So right now, just trying to heal up before those shots come in and hit me. Luckily they're, it's kind of like a carpet bomb thing, they're not like targeted, so you're pretty good at avoiding it as long as you keep moving. So yeah, if you stay really close to him, so a lot of times his horizontal attacks just go right over you. And that's the Dragonslayer armor. Not the most electrifying boss in sports entertainment, but you know, he's a pretty cool fight. I think he's got a good little gimmick. So this is the Dragonslayer armor bonfire that you can light, and not like, I don't know, 10-second run from here is the next bonfire up the stairs and to the left. But first I'm going to go to the right because I'm pretty sure there was a chunk or something over here. It's probably not right here. It's down the stairs, yeah. And a lot of people jump to their death or something over here for some reason or another. I don't know why. There must be some sort of skip or speed running trick or something over here, because otherwise why would people be jumping to their death over here? It's not like they're trying to farm deaths to get hollow up. So right there is the Grand Archives key and Gotthard's twin swords. So if you have not beaten all the Lords of Cinder except for Lothric, those won't be there. So that's how they keep people from sequence breaking that much. So you can sequence break up to that point, and then you have to go back and actually fight all the other Lords of Cinder. So you can get his axe and his shield. They're both meh weapons. I mean, the shield, I've never seen anybody use it because it's a shield. And it's really, really heavy. The axe is okay, but it just doesn't do as much damage. So pretty much right now, I think I'm going to try to get my intelligence up to 15. So I'm going to begin that, and I'm going to cut it right here. Thank you.